Hello all and welcome to the channel all about economic board games. Today I've got a beauty for you, a game called Yokohama, and this is brought to you by the designer here, and we've got the publishers TMG and these guys at the bottom. Now this game I believe plays 2 to 4 and you're looking at probably 90 to 2 hours realistically, and it's a heavier game. I would say this one maybe medium to heavyweight, and there's a lot going on, and today I'm going to be giving you an overview of the game, so it's not a rules instruction. There is a lot. Hopefully I can tell you as much as I can. So to begin with, you are in Yokohama and you are merchants, and you're trying to head across this board here. You can see all these tiles, so you've got variability as how they are randomly shuffled at the beginning, and each one does a different action, and hopefully you're going to be the best merchant and attain the most fame. And you can see you've got a score track at the top there where you're going to be keeping track of your fame. So in front of you then you will have this sort of warehouse, and this is where you can purchase your trading houses, shops, and get more merchants out as well. Handy little reference guide as to how to play the rounds, and it kind of gives you guidance as to how you're going to score at the end as well. You got your president, which is going to be doing most of your actions for you. You've got a couple of shops to begin with and some merchants and a bit of money in the starting player token. Now there's a key distinction in this game. This is your kind of hand of stuff, and this is your stuff you can purchase from your warehouse. You can't just directly take these and put them out on the board. So we've got this handy little turn summary guide here. So to begin with, I'm not going to go through A just yet because it kind of replicates at C at the end. I'm going to go straight into the main action phase, which is B. So you get to place an assistant into either two manners. You can do one in 3 different areas, or you can do 2 in the same area. So these are your assistants. So let's just say we're going to place 3 in different areas, and I'll kind of go through what all these do after, but let's just say we're going to put 1 in the bank, 1 in the tea plantation, and 1 in the employment agency. So looking at one of these cards, you can see what they do, little symbol there that makes sense later. You've got some bonuses you can acquire if you build a shop or a trade in a place, and these vary from game to game as well. And you can see the more power you get here, the more of that particular action you can do, which in that case is take items from your warehouse, which you'll have to pay for, unfortunately. So we have done step place and down. We can now move, so we move our president onto the board, and he has to go on to a place where we've got an assistant. So let's just say we're going to go and get some tea. So we plonk him there. We then do the action. So we've got 1 power, 2 power. You look along here, 2 power gets you 2 tea, and you've got all these lovely resources in this deluxe version here. So we've got tea, we've got silk just above it, and then we've got fish and copper as well. So we stash these tea next to our player board, and that is literally our action. We take back any of these assistants you've used, and you can keep your president there, which I'd probably suggest because it blocks your opponent from using that particular spot, or you can bring it back if you need to use it elsewhere. What have we got next then? So area action, we've done that. Now when you do your particular action, depending on how much power you got, you can get some extra bonuses as well. So looking at the T one, then you can see with 1, 2 and 3 power, we're going to get 1, 2 or 3 T. You can see number 4 and 5 are in red, which means if you have 4 or 5 power, you can build a shop or a train station. So let's just say we've built a shop. You can choose anywhere in these 4 quadrants to choose it. You get 2 of any resource you want there, 1 resource there and a VP, and whoever's last there in a 4-player game gets nothing. So let's just say we put our shop there. Great, we get 2 of these goods of our choice. Or if we did manage to build a trading house, you'd get let's just nab one of those. You get 7 points for doing so, and there's only 1 of those spots there, so it's first come first serve. Now having these buildings out is great because every time another player uses that particular spot, in this case the tea plantation, you're going to get a coin from the bank, and as well that counts towards your power. So in this case, if on the future go, let's just say you've got an assistant there and you do come here, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 power, which is great. You're going to get 4T. So it throughout the game, placing them gives you more power as you go along. Now, additionally, when you place your, what's it called, this president, you can either place him if you brought him back, or if he's, let's just say he's here, you can move him, and you have to move him through your assistants. Now, this is a 2-player setup, so I couldn't just go here because there's no assist. Oh, I could go there because or could I go there? I can't remember now. But you have to go through your assistants. So if I wanted to go here, that's fine. I can go to the bank, or let's just say I've got a linear path here. I can go all the way to here. I think you can go there. I can't remember. So you need a linear path. So let's just say that wasn't there, and I wanted to get to the port. I couldn't get through because the customs hasn't got one of my agents. Yeah, I do think you need an agent now, actually. So that's how you place 3 of those out. Now, the other option you can do, if we look back here, was you can place 2 in the same area. So let's just say on our open and go, we decided, right, we don't want to put 1 in each 3 locations. We put 2 on the fishing ground. We put our president there, and we've immediately got more power. So we've got a power of 3. And again, once you've done your action, you take your assistants back. So that's the power bonus, or should I say the area action step. So the power bonus is where if you do manage to get to 5, you get this little bonus, and they're all randomly distributed at the beginning. Turn over and you get this bonus, which is an imported good that goes from the game, and then you're the first person to have achieved that. We've kind of already covered the shops and trading houses as well, if you're on a 4 and a 5, and then the recovery step we've covered as well, because you bring all your assistants back and decide whether you're going to leave your president out there or not. Now, heading over to these additional actions then, so you can do the following. You can use a foreign mercenary once per turn, and just at the top of the board, I'll go and show you where they're all stashed. It's these little tokens here, and there's various it's France, Germany, Britain, and America, and there's Holland as well, Dutch. So those tokens come in handy because when you acquire cards which have those symbols, if you ever get 2 of them, you get one of those tokens, and that means you can then use that token as an extra action right now, once per turn, to go and carry out an action on the board somewhere. You can also fulfill the achievement cards. So just on the top here, they're randomly distributed A, B, and C. So in this case, whoever gets 70 first can claim this 8 victory points. Whoever has 4 of the technology ones, factories, whatever they're called, and then 4 of those ink symbols, which you'll notice on the board distributed around certain cards. So whoever's built the 4. So that's another way to get nice, earn some nice points across the game. And then finally, you can fulfill order cards. So I'll kind of show you what those are now. So on the side of the game, you've got these 4 boards in a 2-player game. There's a couple more in a 3 or 4-player game. So the port management board, you can see you get your orders here, and without shaking the camera too much, you got low, medium and high. You can see at the top here. So how would you get them then? So if you went to the port and you had a power of, let's say, 3, you could get a middle one. The focus is awful on this, I do apologise. So 3, so you could you got 3 power, you spent that, you get a mid, and you go and have a look over here, and let's just say you take this one, and then they'd get pushed over to the side, and a new one from the pack would come out as well. So looking at this one then, you can see it's got this Great Britain symbol, which is maybe something we're trying to collect. You'd need to pay 2 fish and 2 copper, and you'd get the benefit of 1 victory point. You could take 1 item from your warehouse for free, and you pay the cost there, man, and you get 2 coins as well. Now, when you collect these, you can see at the end of the game, you're going to get points for having collected, say, you know, if you've got 3 different countries, you're going to get 4 points, and as well, if you get 2 symbols of the same, you're going to get one of them mercenary goods, which or mercenary tokens, whatever they're called, and you can get a free action somewhere on the board with your power. You also have the customs management board just below it, so there's a lot of information I'm giving you here, and this one is basically when you go and export goods, which is, where's that one, the customs here. So you can see the more goods you export as you get throughout the game, you can export them onto here, and this is where you bring one of your little dudes out. So let's just say we've gone here, you put that on there, you're going to get 1 good from your warehouse and 10 VPs, and you can see at the top at the end of the game there's points for coming first and second as well. Just below you've got the laboratories, is where you're going to get all those technologies, and there's some really nice ones there. That's really not focusing in today. So yeah, technologies, church as well. You may want to go and donate various goods, and I'll show you where the church is on the board. So you can see here, you can donate goods, and the more power you get, the more you donate, and that's great because again, there's victory points for coming first and second on that, and there's loads of points as well, and you can reallocate some of your what they call the merchants on the board as well. So that's kind of those extra boards to the side. And looking at the actual main board then, which you got the bank at the far left, that's how you're going to get your money. You get tea from the plantation there, you get copper, you can get silk on the far right. The laboratories where you're going to go to get those factories and get some of those nice benefits which give you a sort of an engine builder throughout the game. The customs we've covered. You've got the employment agency, and this is a key one because this is where you're going to go to actually get stuff off your factory, and you kind of need to do that because throughout the game you're going to need those extra merchants. So you've got more power on the board, and you're going to need those shops to get out to get the bonuses and the points and the trading houses as well. We've covered the port there. That's kind of where you get those orders, and that's kind of critical to the game. This is all about sending those orders out to the countries around the world, because the whole essence of the game really is Yokohama's being opened up to trade their goods to the rest of the world, and the technologies from foreign agencies and foreign countries is being implemented in Yokohama at this particular time, and your merchants trying to race around and get the most fame, and the game will be the trigger end, which on this nice little summary on the back, so you can see it was quite small for you guys, but when one of the players has managed to build all 4 trading houses out on the board, that can trigger it. When you get 8 shops built, that can trigger it. If there's no more order cards, or you've got more than, well, it varies from the player count depending on how many players, how many of your little merchants are on the customs board, or the church management will end it as well. And how you score the bonuses, you're going to look at the boards on the side and score points for those. You're going to score points for set collecting these, your factories. You're going to get the points whoever's built the most of them, and you also get points for your money and traded goods as well, and that's all tallied up on that one at the top. Now in a free 4 play game, there's a couple of extra boards which I'll kind of show you now. You've got this research center, which is gives you basically more technologies. Chinatown, which is kind of good. You can look like you can trade a host of goods, and this canal will come into play, which is a key part actually, because as you play the game, you'll find that when your opponent's presidents are in a certain spot, you can't actually go on it, which I haven't actually covered yet, so I'll mention that briefly. So it's kind of a lot of area control on the board, where, for example, let's say your opponent's president is here and you need to get over here and your president's here. If you want to pass through it, you're going to have to pay a coin, and if you ever use, say red player uses this one, you're going to get a coin from the bank for having your shop there, which is great. But it's kind of dodging around and not paying the most coins to get to certain paths, and that's what that canal's great for at the top, because you pay 1 coin and you can go to any of those 6 directions. And as well, if you leave your president there, that's hindering other players from using that action on a future turn. So there's a lot going on here. I like the economic aspects in regarding you're trading them goods, you're sending them abroad as exports, and you're importing these various technologies, and you're building shops and trading houses and getting money from the bank for having done so, and you're just trying to make the most of this this variable modular board. So really, really nice game, this one, and that is Yokohama.